When it comes to the manipulators of anime, there's something inherently realistic about Katagiri Yuuchi. He's not a genius like Ainakoji, or a man with many faces like Aizen in Soul Society. Yuuchi is Yuuchi. No more, no less. He's a swindler to his core, a con artist, a predator just looking for his prey. What he does understand is human psychology. He knows what makes a person tick. He's like a shepherd, leading the lambs to their slaughter. He's off the walls. He's a killer. He's the Joker, playing games in his own madhouse. He's borderline irrational, disregards logical thinking, and in the most intense situations, he lacks composure. He completely throws it away. He doesn't need it. The crazier he is, the more diabolical he acts. When he loses himself in the process and reveals every aspect of his true nature, that's when he's at his strongest. And it's the culmination of all of these qualities that make Katagiri Yuuchi a devil, and a true, utter menace to society. Tomodachi Game is a commentary on capitalism. It's essentially anime Squid Game. It perpetuates the underlying greed of humanity, and how people will do anything just for a little bit of money. It's a true testament to friendship and loyalty, because friendships can be extinguished for very simplistic reasons. There are friendships made out of convenience, alliances formulated based on various dynamics of power, and to cut those off for some cold hard cash is a much easier decision than many would be willing to admit. From an early age, Yuuchi was brought up with two different ideologies: money and friendship. And with Tomodachi Game bringing all these aspects to the spotlight, it's like a perfect storm. In his past, Yuuchi was a downright lunatic. With no concept of morality, Yuuchi is fine with scamming people if it means it will better himself in the process. And it was that same deluded way of thinking and that downward spiral that made him become a murderer. And within his isolation, he gained some understanding that there's far more value in friendship than money. You can't even evaluate them in the same category, because money has a set value, but friendship doesn't. It's priceless. And it's with that same mindset that he enters the Tomodachi Game, as someone who's not just off the walls crazy, but genuinely cares for his friends, and is willing to suffer in order to protect them. And because the organization running the Tomodachi Game is threatening that very existence, Yuuchi makes it his mission to take them down by any means possible. And this is where the immoral nuance of Yuichi's character is brought to the forefront. His ideology is Machiavellian. He will justify any of his actions if the end goal is to protect those he cares about. But even then, he crosses the line in many different ways. Sometimes to extinguish the fire, he will put one of his comrades in front of the inferno. But each and every one of his strategies is so meticulously calculated, the end result is all the same. And it goes back to the fact that he's the devil. He understands the nature of humanity. He treads on the weaknesses of others, completely embodying the notion of a villain. His very ideals are all rooted in what can only be described as evil. He plays with fear. He understands what it means to be afraid, and he uses that to his advantage, understanding that he will do whatever it takes to win. And that's why his specialty is destruction. It's like Shigaraki from MHA. Anything he touches decays. And his targets fail to recognize the gravity of their situation until it's too late. The best manipulators can change someone's discourse without recognizing that the person is being manipulated at all. He makes his prey dance within the palm of his hands, and he's just there to record the fun. Now, with all these negative qualities, there's a major contradiction, and that's his ties to his friends, to which Yuuchi truly does care about all of them. And by letting himself be vulnerable around them, he has regained parts of his humanity. And that's what makes Yuuchi such a nuanced character. He was raised understanding both sides of the coin, friendship and money. He became a demon, absorbed in his own negativity. But just by formulating bonds, he learns to fly under the sun. Yes, he's a manipulator. Yes, he's a psychopath. But it's not something he's happy about, nor does he want his friends to follow the same path that he's walked. He aims to be their metaphorical line in the sand, never wanting any of them to become as bad as a person as him. The reason why Yuuchi is the devil is because he can see through the hearts of others. The only one he can't see is his own. Yuuchi is Yuuchi, no more, no less. A monster, a villain, a victim, and a hero.